Welcome to This Explainer. We're diving straight into a totally practical, no-fluff guide on exactly what San Diego homeowners need to know about Cedar Shake roofs right now. Look, if you own an older home around here, you already know how gorgeous that classic wood look is. But as we head into 2026, the rules of the game have completely changed. So we're going to lay out the hard facts on costs, the new fire codes, and, ultimately, how to protect your biggest investment.
Okay, let's just cut right to the chase and ask the single most urgent and honestly kind of stressful question facing older ranch and craftsman homes in our area. Will your insurance carrier actually cover your wood roof this year? You know, this isn't just some hypothetical what-if anymore. For homeowners with those classic Cedar Shake roofs, this is a very real, pressing issue that could literally determine whether you get to keep your homeowner's insurance policy at all.
So you're going to hear this term a lot, Class A fire rated. It's absolutely crucial. Basically, it's the gold standard, the highest fire resistance rating available for a roof. And here is the really harsh reality for cedar enthusiasts out there. Untreated Cedar Shake completely misses this mark. It's effectively disqualified for use across most of San Diego County.
To put that into perspective, get this. A massive 2/3 of San Diego County sits in what the California Building Code officially calls very high fire hazard severity zones. 2/3. If your property falls into that massive slice of the pie, upgrading to a Class A roof isn't just a polite suggestion from the county. It is legally mandated by the building code.
And well, even beyond those strict local codes, the insurance industry's reaction has been brutal. When underwriters look at a property in a wildfire-prone state like ours, a wood roof is basically their absolute worst-case scenario. It's a giant red flag. A lot of carriers are simply flat-out refusing to write or renew these policies anymore. They're dropping massive surcharges or, even worse, sending out those sudden, painful non-renewal letters. Nobody wants to open their mailbox to that kind of surprise, right?
Let's talk numbers, because the financial reality of trying to stick with real wood is pretty staggering. You're looking at dropping anywhere from $18,000 to $35,000. That's the estimated cost for a typical single-family re-roof with standard real Cedar Shake. Breaking that down, it's roughly $7 to $14 per square foot installed. That puts Cedar firmly on the premium end of roofing. We're talking comparable to or even more expensive than a tile roof and way above standard asphalt.
Actually, scratch that. You probably can't even use that standard wood anyway. To legally use real wood in one of these fire zones, you have to custom order highly specific pressure-treated fire retardant shakes. And yeah, that pushes your baseline price tag significantly higher. Plus, here's the real kicker. That fire retardant treatment loses its effectiveness over time. It requires active, ongoing maintenance just to stay compliant. So any potential price advantage you thought you had, completely erased.
When you stack the realities up side by side, it's pretty eye-opening. Real cedar might last 20 to 30 years in our coastal and canyon climate, sure. But that's only if you keep up with the heavy, expensive maintenance, cleaning moss, clearing debris, treating the wood so it doesn't rot or split in the sun. It's a lot of work. On the flip side, Class A synthetics are basically a protective shield. They last just as long, usually longer, with almost zero upkeep. When you look at alternatives that demand so little of your time and your wallet, the numbers just don't favor real wood anymore.
All right, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's talk about the good news, because there is a highly practical solution here. You actually do not have to give up those beautiful, heavy shadow lines of traditional cedar just to get a compliant, insurable roof. The roofing market has totally evolved to solve this exact headache for California homeowners.
We've got three main contenders for the best look-alike options, and there's one incredibly important common denominator. Every single one of these materials rocks a Class A fire rating, so they'll breeze past local building codes and, most importantly, keep your insurance agent happy. You might even score a wildfire hardening discount. Let's quickly run through how each of these works.
First up, if you want the absolute most convincing substitute out there, composite synthetic shakes are a total game changer. Brands like Da Vinci, Brava, and Cedar are literally casting these molded polymer shakes directly from real cedar logs. The result? It perfectly captures that rough, irregular texture and those deep shadow lines. But because they're synthetic, they don't rot, they don't split, and they'll easily outlast real wood with almost zero maintenance. It's crazy how realistic they are, which is exactly why they're the top choice for San Diego right now.
Now, for my coastal folks, stone-coated steel shake is an awesome discovery. We're talking lightweight steel panels stamped into a shake profile and finished with stone granules. You get that classic cedar vibe, but with a massive structural superpower. They stand up perfectly to those brutal coastal winds and that highly corrosive salt air. If you're close to the ocean, this setup is incredibly tough to beat. But hey, what if you're watching the budget? And honestly, who isn't? Modern architectural asphalt shingles are your best friend here. The weathered wood and cedar tone blends available today are specifically designed to mimic the visual texture of wood. Sure, it might not fool your neighbor if they're holding a piece right in front of their face, but from the street, it reads beautifully as a traditional wood roof. You get that mandatory Class A rating, and your piggy bank stays intact. Okay, let's inject a quick dose of reality about the physical replacement process. You might be wondering, hey, can't they just put the new roof right over the old one to save a few bucks? Yeah, no way. Because of the super uneven, textured surface of real cedar and the super strict fire code upgrade the state requires, you absolutely cannot just slap a new roof over the existing one. It's a hard no.
So what happens is a mandatory 3-step process that basically forces a hard reset on your roof. First, they do a full tear-off, ripping everything right down to the bare wood deck. Second, a super thorough inspection of that exposed deck. And third, installing the brand new assembly. And here's the catch. The exact second you tear off that old wood, the new Class A requirement officially kicks in. Whatever goes back up must be a fully compliant fire-rated assembly.
I know a full tear-off sounds really daunting and maybe expensive, but trust me, it's actually a massive blessing in disguise. Wood roofs are absolutely notorious for hiding dry rot and old splits underneath. Exposing the bare deck means your roofers can finally see and fix all that hidden damage. It's an insider secret. Handling dry rot while the roof is already wide open is pennies compared to chasing a devastating nightmare leak in your living room a year from now. Getting it done now saves you the headache of a lifetime.
So what's your game plan? If you want to protect your home and your wallet, here are the proactive steps you need to take this week. First, check your parcel's fire zone with the county or CAL FIRE so you know exactly which building codes apply to your specific address. Second, get on the phone with your insurance agent and see exactly how your current wood roof is impacting your policy. And finally, schedule a free inspection with a vetted local contractor to see what shape your deck is actually in. Do all of this before you sign anything, and definitely before that surprise non-renewal letter shows up. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Knowing everything you know now about San Diego's strict fire codes, the true cost of ongoing maintenance, and just how aggressive insurance underwriters are being right now, is your roof actually ready for its next review? Don't wait around for the insurance company to make the first move. Are you going to pass the test when that renewal notice shows up?